Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Cotton Carrier Hyker Sling bag, and Cotton Carrier were kind enough to sponsor this video and send me the bag out for testing. Although this video is sponsored, Cotton Carrier aren't telling me what to say, so all thoughts and opinions in this video are my own. In this video I'll talk about the design, how it handles out in the field, and whether it's a good option for a photographer like myself. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jamie Spencerley and I do a lot of macro photography out in the field. To start off, I'll quickly talk about the design and build quality. My first impressions of this bag is that it's built very well and it's made of very high quality materials. The bag is made of water repellent N400D nylon, has water sealed YKK zippers with zipper garages, and the receiver, which is the part where you can put your equipment onto, is made of nylon 6. So you can confidently take this bag out in bad weather and be assured that your equipment stays dry. The bag itself is 12 litres and dimensions wise, it has a height of 15 inches, a width of 10.5 inches, and a depth of 6.5 inches. It's not a massive bag, but the whole purpose of this bag and a lot of other Cotton Carrier products is to have your gear on you and ready to use rather than store it away in your bag. Inside the bag there's a zip up compartment where you can store bits and bobs. And on the top of the bag there's a little compartment that contains a weather cover for your gear. The bag has two flat compartments on each side and one of the compartments has 3 storage areas. These are ideal for storing things like laptops, tablets, and in my case, a portable charger. There's also this sleeve on the outside of the bag, which can be used to store a tripod or a water bowl. The whole idea of this bag is that you can sling it round and access the bag without taking it off. And I'll show you how that works a little bit later on. And just like a lot of other Cotton Carrier products, this bag features a receiver for your equipment on the main strap of the bag. This keeps your equipment snug to your body and allows you to be hands-free, which helps out when you're hiking or messing around with some other bits of equipment. To use the receiver, you have to attach this mount onto your equipment using an Allen key. You can attach this to the bottom of your camera or to your lens if it has a lens collar, and you can even attach it to other bits of equipment if you want to, such as binoculars. The bag also comes with a lens insert bag, and this can be used in the bag or it can be worn on the outside of the bag. It can fit a decent sized camera and lens, and the exact dimensions are 4 inches by 4 inches by 9 inches. In terms of comfort, the bag has a moulded back panel, which makes it nice and breathable. There's also plenty of adjustable straps to help fit any body type, including me who's built like a twig. And price wise, this bag costs £194. So now I've talked about all the technical specs, I'm going to go out in the field and show you how this bag functions. First off, I want to mention that this bag and all other Cotton Carrier products are designed by photographers for photographers, and that'll be quite evident when I run you through how this bag functions. So the main feature of this bag and many other Cotton Carrier products is this receiver here, and what this does is allows you to quickly and easily put your camera on there and be hands-free. I really like using this feature for macro photography because I typically need my hands to be free to adjust my background cards and my subject, and a lot of the time I don't want to put my camera on the floor because it's often really wet and dirty, and I've got really expensive equipment that I don't want to wreck. So I can quickly and easily just put it on here and it's nice and secure and I can be hands-free. Now you might be a bit concerned about your equipment falling out of this receiver, and there's actually a couple safety measures in place to prevent that. So the first safety measure is the patented twist and lock mechanism. So as you can see, I have to twist the lens to actually take it out. If I don't twist it, that's not coming out at all. So I have to actually physically turn it 90 degrees and then lift it out to get my camera out. That means you can run around and jump while your camera's in this receiver, and you won't have to worry about your camera flying up out of the receiver. But in the unlikely event that your camera happens to fall out of the receiver, there's actually a second safety measure in place that prevents it from falling on the ground, which is this safety tether here. This is just a simple strap that goes from your camera bag to your camera, and when you buckle it in, that just prevents your camera from falling. So for example, if I happen to drop it, the tether is going to catch my camera and it's not going to fall on the ground. Now there are a couple things I don't like about this receiver, and the first is this little mounts that you have to put onto your camera or lens to make it go onto the receiver. And what I don't like about it is that when you're trying to use a tripod mount with this little mount here, you have to screw it into this little hole. And recently when I was using it, it kept on coming loose when I had my camera in portrait on a tripod. And that was just really frustrating. And even if I tightened it even more, it kept on coming loose every now and then. So that was a bit frustrating. And because it kept coming loose, I wanted to unscrew this and then put my tripod mount on instead. But I didn't have the Allen key to unscrew it, because as you can see, it takes an Allen key. You can't just do it with your fingers. And I forgot to bring the Allen key out with me that day. So unfortunately, I couldn't actually take it off there in that moment. And the second thing I don't like about this receiver is that when you're bending down with your equipment in here, it can be quite awkward and it can get in the way. So for example, I'm just going to photograph this little spider on a leaf over here, and I've got to bend down because I want to get a low composition. And as I bend down, my lens goes into my leg, and it's quite awkward. And when I've got my macro setup on as well, I have like a big diffuser, and my diffuser gets squashed into my leg often. It's not a massive problem because you can just take your camera out as you bend down, but it is just a little bit annoying. Another really cool feature of this bag, and it's kind of in the name, is that you can sling it round and access your bag without actually taking it off. So if you've got something big and heavy in your receiver, I'd recommend to take it out before you sling your bag round. And to sling the bag around, you simply unbuckle this clip on your left and then grab the bag here and then sling it around like that. And now you can access anything that's in your bag. Typically, I don't really carry much in my bag because I do macro photography, so I don't really have any spare equipment I need to take out with me. But if you're someone that likes to do both wildlife, macro, maybe other types of genres, and you have lots of lenses and cameras, this bag can carry quite a big lens. It's not massive, but you can carry a big lens such as the one I took out with me today, or you can carry spare batteries, or maybe even just food and water. In the bag itself, we've got this little mesh part up here with a zip, and this is great for storing little bits and bobs such as batteries, spare SD cards, stuff like that. And in the main compartment, we've got this lens bag, which I'll talk a little bit about in a moment. And as you can see, this is the main compartment. It's not that big, you can still fit quite a big lens and camera in there though. But generally, Can't Carry products are designed for having equipment on you rather than inside your bag. There's also this flat compartment, which is great for storing things like iPads, phones, chargers, maybe even a small laptop. There's also another flat compartment separate to this one on the bottom, which you can unzip. But obviously, when you sling the bag round, you're going to want to access this one rather than the bottom one, because if you access the bottom one, then all your stuff is just going to fall onto the ground. On the side here, we've got this tiny little pocket, and in here is actually a rain cover. So say you're out shooting in unpredictable weather and it starts raining, you can just whip out this little cover, put it over your equipment, and you're sorted. You can also take this out if you want and put some other small little bits and bobs in there if you want to. On the bottom here, we've got this sleeve. This is great for putting tripods or water bottles in here. Right now, I've got nothing but this rain cover. This is an actual second rain cover you get given with this bag. So if you lose the first one, you got a spare one. And I typically put my tripod in here, but as you can see, there's nothing in here right now. That's because I'm filming on the tripod that I use right now. Once you've finished accessing your bag and you want to sling it back around, make sure all your zips are zipped up so nothing falls out, and then simply swing your bag to the right. And then buckle up this buckle on the left again. And you're ready to go shoot again. I'm now going to talk about the lens insert bag. And this bag isn't actually that big. It is made of great materials, very high quality. But as you can see, I've just about fit that wildlife lens in here. It's literally poking out the top. So if you're wondering about what you can fit in here, a lens of about that size can fit in the bag. And earlier on, I had my 90mm macro lens with my 2x teleconverter in there, and that fit in there perfectly fine. So if you've got smaller equipment than this, it will definitely fit in the lens bag. If you put in a couple of things in the lens insert bag, they do provide this little divider. So as you can see right now, I've got my 90mm macro lens in the bottom, and then on the top, I've got my 2x teleconverter. So they're not going to collide against each other and cause any damage, and they fit in there very nicely. As you saw earlier, I had this inside of my bag, but you can actually wear this on the outside of your bag as well, in case you want to access it really quickly. So all you do is use this Velcro on the back, and then put the large part over this strap on your right, and then just Velcro it on. And you've now got the lens bag right there, so you can easily access a lens or any other bit of equipment that's in that lens bag. Finally, I'm going to talk about comfort. And for me personally, when I'm trying to choose a camera bag, comfort is one of the most important things I consider. I think this camera bag is really comfortable and it helps take the weight off your arms and your body, but you do have to set it up properly, because when I first got it, I didn't set it up properly and I found it really uncomfortable. And I thought it was the bag being the problem, but it was actually me. I didn't set it up properly. So I'll tell you how to set it up and how to make it comfortable for yourself right now. The good thing about this bag is that it has several straps on it, which means you can adjust those to fit pretty much any body type. As you can see, I'm built like a rake and I'm really bony, but I made the bag fit tight to my body, and when I've got the equipment strapped onto my bag, it doesn't move around and it's nice and secure. So to adjust the bag, you've got these two main straps. You've got this one on the right and this one on the left. And to tighten it, you simply just pull on this strap here, and then to tighten this one, you simply just pull on that strap there. I like to pull both of these straps nice and tight, but I do leave a little bit of breathing room just so I can actually breathe, because I don't want the bag strangling me. You can also adjust how high up or how low down you want the receiver. And when I first got the bag, I didn't know you could do this. So I had it quite high, and that was really uncomfortable on my body. And to adjust this strap, you simply slide your hand down here, and you have to prise this Velcro apart. And the Velcro is quite strong, so it might take a bit of work. And then what you can do then is just pull this strap up a bit further and then put it back on the Velcro, and you've increased the length of this strap here. But yeah, overall this camera bag is really comfortable as long as you adjust all the camera straps to fit your body. If I'm nitpicking, I'd say this camera bag can be a bit uncomfortable at times, just because you've got all the weight on the one side of your body. And a typical camera bag will have two shoulder straps, which means the weight will be evenly distributed. But as you can see with this bag, there's just one shoulder strap. For example, I went to Japan a few months ago and I had my full frame setup, which is quite heavy. So I had my full frame camera, two full frame lenses and a tripod all in the back of this bag. And I was out all day, so it put quite a bit of strain on my one shoulder and it was a little bit uncomfortable. But generally when using this bag, I'll have my camera out and be shooting with it. And whenever I need a break and I want my hands free, I'll put it on here. So a lot of the time there won't actually be much weight on my bag or in my bag. So it's not really much of a big problem. So I think that's all I've got to say about using this bag out in the field. I'm now going to go back to the studio and share my experiences I've had while using this bag over the past few months. So I've been using this bag for a few months and I've really been enjoying it. And I've not just used it for macro photography too. At the start of June, I went to Japan and I took this bag with me, and I used it quite a few times while I was over there. I took it on a day trip to Mount Fuji and I was using my heavier full frame camera and lenses. I went on a coach that dropped me off at several Mount Fuji viewing spots, and it only had about 30 minutes to an hour at each location. The bag really saved me a lot of time here because I was able to quickly sling it around onto my front and then change the lens without taking the bag off my body. The weather was terrible that day. It was raining most of the time, it was really cloudy, and I barely even saw Mount Fuji. I saw just a bit of it come out of the clouds. But even though the weather was bad, this bag is waterproof, so all the equipment inside my bag was kept dry. And instead of using the provided cotton carrier rain covers, I decided to use my own one. This is because my own rain cover has an opening for the front of the lens, meaning I can use it while shooting. The cotton carrier rain covers are basically just covers. They're not designed to be used while shooting. They just go straight over your gear and there's no holes for your lens to poke through. It'd be nice if cotton carrier provided a rain cover that's designed to be used while shooting, but it's not a big deal because you can just buy your own rain cover off Amazon for really cheap. I did a lot of walking that day, going up and down steps, even running at some points. And the bag did a great job of stabilising my gear and keeping it snug to my body. However, one mistake I made was putting too much equipment in my bag. I had my full frame camera, two heavy full frame lenses, a tripod, a water bottle, and my little video camera, which is the DJI Pocket 3. All this weight put quite a lot of strain on my shoulder and my neck, and it was quite uncomfortable. I used it another day when I was roaming around Shinjuku, and I had a similar problem where it was quite uncomfortable because I packed too much in the back. From my experience, and I think it's generally how the bag is designed to be used anyway, I feel like it's a lot more comfortable when you pack less in the back and you have the bag a lot more front heavy. But the main reason for my discomfort, like I mentioned earlier, was that I didn't have the bag properly set up. I didn't have that shoulder strap adjusted at all, which meant the weight was a lot more higher up, which meant it was pulling on my shoulder. But now I've adjusted the length of the receiver strap, the weight is a lot more evenly distributed and it's far more comfortable. The main reason I didn't know you could adjust that part of the bag is because I found the instructions manual quite unclear. When I first got the Hyker Sling bag, I scanned the QR code provided in the box, and this takes you to an instruction video. When watching the video, it didn't seem completely obvious that you could adjust the main strap of the bag using the Velcro. He briefly shows you how to adjust this part of the bag at the end of the video, but the camera angle isn't clear enough and it's only a few seconds long, so I didn't realise when I watched the video. After Japan, I was thinking, why is this bag uncomfortable? Surely there's something I've missed in the instructions video. So I re-watched it, and that's when I noticed at the end of the video, I missed out that tiny little part where it shows you how to adjust the Velcro in the back of the bag. Once I adjusted the length of the main strap of the bag, it became a lot more comfortable and I wish I knew this before I went to Japan. Even though it's kind of my fault that I missed that part of the instructions video, I feel like the video should be a lot more clearer, because otherwise people will probably make the same mistake I did. But since that trip to Japan, I've been using this bag a lot for macro photography. And what I've really enjoyed about this bag is how it can speed up my workflow. When filming YouTube videos, I have to keep adjusting my tripod that my video camera's on. And this usually takes up quite a lot of time because I have to keep putting my camera on the floor, adjusting the height of the tripod, and then repositioning the tripod and then coming back to where I was taking the photo. It can just take a lot of time. But with this bag, I can save a lot of time by putting my camera in the receiver. Then I've got both hands free to adjust the height and position of my tripod. It's also really nice to have both hands free when I'm hiking, especially when I need to climb something. I really like the sling function of the bag, but in my practice I rarely need to use it because I generally go out with just one camera and one lens. But I am considering potentially getting a wildlife lens, and if I do get one, then I can have that in the back of my bag, and then I can have my camera and my macro lens out in my hands, and if I see a wildlife subject out and about when I'm doing macro, I can quickly sling the bag around, change lens, and get to shooting that. If you're someone who perhaps changes lenses a lot or needs to access equipment very quickly, then the Hyker Sling bag is perfect for you. It's also great for those people who like going on hikes. You can have your camera hands-free on the harness, and then in your backpack you can have your food and water for the hike. And it's also great for wildlife photographers who use big and heavy lenses, because having it in the receiver will take the weight off your arms and it'll be a lot more comfortable. So overall, I've really enjoyed using the Cotton Carrier Hyker Sling bag, and I would highly recommend it. At a price tag of £194, you could argue it's quite expensive, but with its unique features and excellent build quality, I think it's worth it. Talking of price tags, if you use code Jamie10 at checkout, you'll save 10% on your order. So if you want to learn more about the Cotton Carrier Hyker Sling bag, I'll leave a link down below in the description, and that's an affiliate link. So if you buy through that, I'll get a small commission at no extra cost to you, which will help support the channel. But with all that said and done, I'm going to end today's video here. So make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.